It's all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship here on Get Down to Business. You are listening to Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. We've been talking a lot about jobs. It's the season for college graduations. I've been running around from one party to another party, and lots of folks coming out of school and probably starting to look for their first job. And I can think of nobody better to talk to us about that process than our friend Andrea Storz, who has previously been on the show. Andrea, thanks for joining us on Get Down to Business.
It's great to be here, both.
Fantastic, Andrea. Thank you. So let's jump right into it. Recent college grad, doesn't matter what industry, what should they do to start sort of their job search? Communication, resume, all critical skills. What should they do?
Well, first of all, the truth is, and I hate to sound like this, to put a negative spin initially on this, for kids who are graduating this year, they should have been looking for opportunities probably in February. Internships are a very hot commodity. Internship is synonymous with networking. It has that same kind of punch. Obviously, the ideal would be to do your research and find opportunity, hopefully paid internships, paid opportunity in the industry that you are hoping to develop a career in. That's not always possible. However, I strongly suggest that you can find a part-time job and volunteer in industries that may be helpful in developing a career in the industry that you've chosen. The bottom line is the more experience you get in a learning capacity in an industry, in the position that you're hoping to develop for a lengthy career, the better off you are. You have to remember, the earlier you start, the better. Networking is also the name of the game. Shalom, you're the guru on this, and you know how powerful networking is. Yes, you can go online. Yes, you can look for volunteer opportunities and internship opportunities. It's really talking to people who you know and who you don't know. If there is a company that you have your sights on, that you really want to one day become an integral part of, a real staff member, start talking with them. Start developing a dialogue early on so that your name isn't forgettable. That's a primary thing in investigating internships.
So network your way into the jobs.
Absolutely. And the truth is, you can look on websites and you can look for entry-level positions. Let me remind all the people listening that entry-level positions are now being looked at by seasoned professionals because of lack of opportunity. So there's a little bit of an imbalance there, which I think people have to take into consideration. But even if you look on the website of a company that you would like to work for, if they don't have anything available, that should not deter you from contacting them via email, by the way. Do not call people. You're not that important, number one. They don't know who you are. Number two, people are busy. Emails are on the screen, and it's just a better way to communicate. Maybe it's not the most personal way to communicate, but when it comes to business, I think it's the most efficient way.
And Andrea, let me jump in right over there. I mean, as you network your way into a job, hopefully you're going to be communicating with people, and it's not just always going to be asking for the job, but you're going to be networking your way in.
Not at all.
And as you do that, you need to establish a correct line of communication with everybody that you work with. Some people do prefer phone calls. Some people prefer emails, but ask right up front, and people appreciate when you sort of work with their parameters. You know, they don't want calls at this time. They do want an email then. They work on this then. People really appreciate that.
They appreciate it, and I guess the point that I'm trying to get across is if there is not anything available on a website or through people you've spoken to, do not let that prevent you from introducing yourself to the powers that be, who you are, that you're very disappointed there's nothing available. However, you would still like to speak to someone that you know about this company, and that you'd be more than happy to contribute your talents to the company. There are all different ways of doing this. You have to find a comfort zone for you. You also have to know how to present yourself. It's essential. You have to have a little elevator speech. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be super detailed. But you have to give the listener the flavor of who you are and what you bring to the table and why you want to be part of that company. What you do have going for you as recent graduates. Now, there are graduates who may be 50, 60 years old.
Oh, there's no question. And so there we have it. A lot of advice for folks that are out there looking for their first job and internships and things like that. Lots of very, very helpful information from our friend Andrea Storz. So, Andrea, how can people get in touch with you if they have more questions?
You can always email me at adms6135@aol.com. You can also call me 847-917-4141. I'm happy to help.
Awesome. And Andrea, I know your advice for, for the college grads of 2015 is start looking earlier.
Start looking earlier, and also don't forget, go to your college career centers and bug them to death.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks, Andrea, for all the advice. You're listening to Get Down to Business. After the break, more discussion about jobs, small business, and entrepreneurship.